The NFL's new kickoff rules are gonna be like something we've never seen before. It's gonna make what was once one of the most boring plays in sports one of the most exciting. We got our first look at what it looks like from the Texans, at least a small look, but we got a little bit of a look of what it's going to look like. I'll tell you what that was in a sec, but first, let's hear what DeMeco Ryans had to say about the new kickoff rules. Could we see more important skill position guys back there? Here was DeMeco Ryans talking about that.
With the new kickoff rule, you'll see a lot of teams using many more skill players at the return position because you're gonna be able to return the ball and it's gonna hit pretty quick. So I think as many guys as you can get who can catch the ball back there returning, whether it's receivers or running backs, we're gonna try to use all of our guys to see who is best at really creating explosive plays, because that's what I think will happen on that play.
Yeah, and I think not only on the from the offensive point of view, I think the defensive point of view is going to be interesting as well. How will that impact roster management? You had Jalen Petrie with the first team kickoff. We don't know who's going to be kicking for the Texans. We assume it's going to be Fairbairn. Could there be another option? Don't necessarily want him to be making tackles. So who's going to kick is still TBD, but there were some first team guys on the coverage, at least going through those reps. Going through the first look at the kickoff return from the Texans' point of view. You heard DeMeco say what he said. Here was Tank Dell talking about, and he answered this question with Cody Stutes. Here was Tank Dell talking about whether or not he would be ready. This is a little bit short and sweet. Tank was back there. I'll tell you where he was back there and who he was back there with in a sec. But first, let's hear from him. Hear what he has to say about potentially returning kicks this year with the new rules.
Are you ready for you added special teams load in addition to your wide receiver work?
Am I ready? I'm ready for everything, Of course I'm ready. Yeah.
Short and sweet right there. He says he's ready, and he was one of the guys back there. In the kickoff return line, you had these six guys, the main guys, and they were divided into pairs. So the Texans had two guys back there. Steven Sims was back there with Dameon Pierce. And then you had Tank Dell back there with Woods. And then you had Jawar Jordan and Desmond King. Now, whenever they actually went through the team reps, and again, they were using the jugs machine, so we don't know who's going to be kicking off. This is what the first team looked like when they had two guys back there. It was actually Steven Sims and Desmond King, who were 1 and 2 yesterday in the punt return line. Then it was Dameon Pierce and Tank Dell, and then you had Jordan and Taylor. Now, another note, and it's interesting because not only have we not seen this play, we haven't really seen how they practice this. There was a drill where there's basically a ball, and it's basically like a squib kick, because we're going to see a lot more of that with the way that this is kicked. You had Nico Collins and Mechie in those lines. They were not in the actual return lines when they were in pairs. For the most part, it looks like Steven Sims is the guy to beat out here. You're going to see some Tank Dell. You're going to see some Des King. Robert Woods is back there as well. Don't know how this is going to be approached. Is the new hands team, you put a guy like Nico back there and just have him catch the rock? I don't know. We have no idea. And that's what makes this thing most exciting. How will it impact roster management on both ends? Could it actually be a good thing for John Mechie, where if you have starters covering kicks now and you have impact players returning kicks, does that mean that maybe you don't have to do extra stuff? Initially, we thought maybe it would hurt John Mechie. It might actually help him. We really don't know. We don't know what teams are going to do when it comes to this, how it's going to impact roster management. It's probably not going to – there's not going to be one set in stone approach. It'll be really interesting to see how DeMeco and Nick Caserio do approach this. But again, Steven Sims, Des King, Dameon Pierce, Tank Dell, Jordan, and Taylor, the top six back there returning the kicks. And you got a lot of starters with the first team as well. Still don't know who's going to kick. It's a really exciting time. One of the most exciting plays in sports, which was once upon a time one of the most boring. It is the locker room. That's day 2 of training camp. Plenty more where that came from. Be sure to subscribe, like, right along for the best Texans coverage in the country. And always remember, old kickoff rules, new kickoff rules, starters returning kicks or not, when it comes to this Texan stuff. In this digital game, we're all in it together. Thanks for coming through.
Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk, yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize, every angle's what we really do. We the source, we the pulse of the city too. Landlocked, got the game in the headlock. Localize every time, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, we top 2 and we